All right, it's time for us to check in with tech with Black Friday upon us. Chris Abel is here to nerd out, enjoy this, love this. Now, I don't know if you can go shopping for robot cat servers, but you can certainly start to experiencing them depending on where you are in Canada. What's going on, Chris?
Well, there are about 75 restaurants across the Greater Toronto area that have all started to use cat robot waiters. And so this is a delivery robot that's made in China called the Bella Bot. What it looks like is a large shelving unit that's on top of wheels with the head of a cat on top. And so in a restaurant, it autonomously rotates to over to your table and then uses a touch screen with cat emojis on it to ask you what kind of meals you want, what dishes you want. And then it goes off, collects them onto its shelves and brings them back to the table, and everybody can kind of serve themselves in terms of getting the food. There are 75 restaurants across the GTA that now has this, including a Swiss Chalet in Newmarket, a Boston Pizza in Aurora. And, they've got the cat theme down in that the head has ears, physical ears, but also a big touch screen that has little cat emojis to try to make the whole experience very, very friendly.
Now, that sounds fun in tech. I'm assuming the hospitality is not quite the same. At what point does the novelty and the hospitality intersect?
Well, again, as I said, I mean, it brings the food to your table, but you have to remove it from its shelving unit and then distribute it amongst yourselves. So it's not quite the same as having a human waitress or a waiter who can remember who ordered what and who can answer questions about whether something is too spicy or not. The cat does listen and take voice commands. It has a touch screen and it has little sensors. So if you want, you can stroke the cat on the top of the head. It'll feel it and it will respond with little chirps. Doesn't speak, but it will show very happy little emojis on its face. And its shelving unit is designed to be able to detect and sense when the food has been taken off, whether trays are empty, and then report back to the restaurant. I don't know if it's a big deal for the restaurants in terms of efficiency, in terms of what the cost might be. I think mainly it's just a way of trying to engage people and get them back into the restaurant. We've had so many changes in our society that that's probably the cause here.
Do you have to tip the cat?
There might be the big advantage, right? I don't think you have to leave a tip for the cats. They're quite happy just to get a pat on the head. So
Very
maybe
good.
that'll be a big bonus.
Don't mistake your normal server, though, for the cat robot server. Don't start patting your normal server on the head. That part's not okay. Chris,
Yeah.
we've seen these Aura rings come out before, and there's more competitors in that marketplace. Like your smartwatch, but a ring that does at least some of the same things.
So what's going on is that Casio, which is a name I have not said in a very long
Long
time
time. Yeah.
in terms of tech, they're celebrating 50 years since they first started selling digital watches. Not smartwatches, but digital watches. Anybody from the 1980s will remember that big craze when it happened. And so now, 50 years later, they've decided to take that same digital watch that people remember from the 1980s and shrink it all the way down. So it's so small now that it wraps around your finger. So they're now selling that as a smart ring, even though it looks identical to a wristwatch. It's a wristwatch enough for a cat, but you put it on your finger. And although it doesn't do the smart ring things that we've seen from other companies like Samsung, it's not going to offer any health features. It does do the digital watch things. It does have a calendar. It has a stopwatch, for example. So that's something that Casio is selling in Japan. Goes for about $190. I don't know if it'll eventually come over here to North America, but they're saying that this is a callback to when Casio first started in 1946. They didn't have digital watches back then, but they used to sell a ring that had a little attachment on it that you can add a cigarette to it so you could smoke using the ring on your finger. It's a remarkable thing. I'll tweet an image of it. You have to see this ring. It's just amazing.
Wow, that is a throwback right there. My goodness. Okay, my buddy Eve, he and his family use Google Lens all the time. Like they constantly use it. For them, it's a normal part of, hey, what's that? And they use Google Lens to do it. I had never seen it until I was there in January visiting, and it quite impressed me. And you could do more with it now.
That's right. So this is, if you have the Google app on your phone, whether it's Android or iPhone, You can load it up, open up your camera, and you point the camera at things, and then Google will try to identify what's in the camera. They've just sent out an update, both in Canada and the United States, that when you do this in a store, you point your camera at a product that's sitting on the shelf, it will identify what that product is. And this, I'm not sure if stores are going to be too happy about this, but it will immediately look up that product online and compare it against the inventory of other stores in the area. So you know who's got it in stock and who doesn't, what the price comparisons might be, who's got it cheaper than the store that you're currently standing in, and things like offering up reviews and recommendations for other products that are kind of similar in vein. So this is something that Google just rolled out. And yes, they've rolled it out in Canada. I was testing it earlier today. So it's now available. If you have the Google app on your phone, you open it up, you use the lens to be able to use your camera, just point it at a product, anything that's in a packaging, and you'll see it immediately populate with all these fantastic results.
SKUs on items are, there's universal SKUs and stuff like that. On the Amazon seller app, now it's not the same sort of AI like Google Lens, but there are ways on there to go into a store on a sale price and scan it and see what it sells for at Amazon.
Right.
And it'll tell you how much it is. So if you see it on sale for $20, but it sells for $60 on Amazon currently, sale ends tonight. Well, take a wild guess who could make some money on Facebook Marketplace or something like that, reselling it. So there's some cool tech out there that can help you make some money.
Definitely. And Google says that the next step is to add this to Google Maps. So you can physically see where the other copies of that product are and which stores nearby. It's amazing.
Oh, that's cool. That is very amazing. I do very much like that. It's amazing what you could do with Google Maps. My old business, we used to be able to publish music lists from restaurants, so you could go see what pub was playing what music currently and decide where you wanted to go for beers. That's great. And that was 5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know how your banana is, but if you want to tape it to a wall and make some money, apparently that's a thing.
Right. So this just happened. Breaking news at Sotheby's art auction. The art piece known as Comedian, which is literally just a banana that's been duct taped to a wall, just sold for $5.2 million.
Wow.
Which is astonishing. I attended the auction online. It was amazing. The opening bid started at $800,000. The auctioneer kept exclaiming, "I can't believe I'm about to sell a banana for millions of dollars." But it very quickly got to $5.2 million. To understand, the banana, of course, is going to deteriorate. It's going to rot. It's not going to last for a very long time.
It's a real banana.
It is a real banana just from a supermarket store. So what happens is that the owner hasn't bought a banana and a duct tape or a piece of art. They've merely bought an authentic sheet of paper that says they have the rights to go out and get a replacement banana and a replacement duct tape and add it to the wall to maintain that piece of work of art, which is astonishing.
So basically, you're like the caretaker of the banana.
Yes, and it's no different than any other banana that's out there. Although I'm sure it comes with instructions that says the banana has to be of a certain length and a certain shape and where to buy it, and it has to be a certain brand of duct tape. A lot of things like that. This is something that happens a lot with disruptive art. And I want to share this fantastic story because when this piece of art comes to places like the Art Gallery of Ontario, they have to have one of their conservators make sure that they get the right banana and the right duct tape. I had a wonderful chat with the conservator of Art Gallery of Ontario, Sherry Phillips, who was in charge when they had a piece of art called Artist's Poop. That's not the actual title. I'm being censorship here, Artist S. And what it was, the artist had taken his own feces and canned it.
Oh,
and then said,
man.
That's art.
Oh,
when it arrived to the Art Gallery of Ontario, they noticed that
we're gonna have to leave it there, Chris. And but that's a very funny place to leave it because we are out of time, my man. But there you go. If you want to check out the banana art, give it a Google. Chris Abel, thank you, my friend. Shane Hewitt in the Night Shift.